CueSports International and Bad Boys Billiard Productions would like to say welcome to the hot seat match of the 21st U.S. Bar Table Championships, coming to you live from the Grand Sierra Resort here in Reno, Nevada. This is Ken Shuman for TAR, and you are looking at Thorsten Hohmann, who just won the lag, and he's about to rack the balls. And he's playing the South Dakota kid. What a surprise. And this will be for the right to go to the finals. Shane is the defending champion. He's going for his third U.S. Bar 9-ball title. Thorsten for his first. And for the second consecutive match, Shane does not win the lag. And that turned out to be a pretty important aspect of the prior match, which really could have gone Skyler's way. Terrific performance by young Skyler Woodward in that last match. So here we go. Thorsten, rack number 1. Now that's about the hardest I've seen anybody break in 2 days on this table. And of course the wing ball went in. Looks like he can slice the 2 and possibly go into the 3-9. I think he's got no choice but to do that. And that's assuming he can make the 2. Seems to look like he can. The 3 does look like it might go by the 9. If it does, he could spin out there if he can get the 2 thick enough. But it's tight either way. He missed the 9, and now it's a question of whether the 3 goes. There's possible carom there. I don't know if he can risk playing that. He would like to shoot the 3, of course, if it goes. He doesn't want to play this billiard from 6 feet away. Not even sure he can get enough of it to make it, but those are his 2 choices. Cut the 3 or play the carom. Just elected to play safe. Pretty smart shot there. Didn't want to take any chances. Shane can hit the 3 ball. Probably just bring him back the other side of the 9, leave the 3 right there. That's even better. Doesn't look to be frozen. And if that's the case, I think Thorsten will probably just do a real soft roll right up on top of it. Foul. Tried to catch it coming out just the same way Shane did. And the first turnover of the match right here in the first rack. And you just can't do that kind of stuff against Shane. No one's beaten him yet. He went undefeated through the 10-ball division, and here he is in the hot seat of the 9-ball division. And we haven't even got to his best game, which is 8-ball. but he'll get there tomorrow, and he's still alive in the one pocket. Now, we are going to have one pocket action for you tomorrow exclusively. Not sure yet of the start time. That's still being decided by the tournament direction staff due to the fact that there's still a bunch of players in 9-ball that are in one pocket, and we'll have to start playing 8-ball tomorrow. But they are going to switch the table out overnight, and we'll have one pocket for you all day tomorrow. I just don't know what time we'll start, but we will get. Nope. Shane came over to ask me if it was required that the two's in the back. And the answer is no. But we'll kind of keep in mind the foul by Thorsten there in rack number 1, which turned the advantage back to Shane as far as having the lead in breaking. If you remember that last match in that one game where Skyler had to get down to cut that 3-ball really, really thin in the side at 5-5. And I asked him, you know, if he could have maybe done anything else with the cue ball off the deuce. And he said he thought about trying to send the cue ball right at the 4, but he was afraid that he might get hooked. And he wasn't far enough down where he could have banked the 2 to send the cue ball down. He just said he tried to get a little further down than he actually wound up doing. So when he played the 3, he actually did hit it. He just slivered the paint and it barely moved, but that turned out to be the turning point in the match. It allowed Shane to get the advantage, breaking with the lead. And he carried that all the way through to a 9-7 victory in the best match of the tournament so far. So let's see if maybe we can have another match of equal quality right here, and we've sure got the players to do it. So the hitman from Fulda, Germany, now living in Jacksonville, Florida. He is the reigning world 9-ball champion, having won his 2nd this past fall, 10 years after he won his first one back in 2003. And I think that is a record for the most amount of time in between world championship titles in the same discipline by the same player. But he won that in Doha. And he also won his 3rd World Straight Pool title last year as well. So this man already has 5 major titles to his credit, in addition to a BCA Open. And he also has won titles in 3 different countries. He's won the Japan Open, the Philippine Open, and the China Open. Truly an international star, Mr. Hohmann is. And one of the great modern day players. Has always kind of used Ralph Souquet as his mentor and person that he's kind of tried to model his behavior and professionalism after, and you couldn't have a better guy to follow than Ralph Souquet's example. And just like that, Thorsten with a quick break and run gets on the board 2-1. Watch the difference in power here. That's about half the speed Thorsten hit his break with. And with this kind of a result, there's no need to hit it any harder. Looks like the 3 passes the 4. We'll know pretty soon here. You can see it's snug, but it goes. Just to the inside jaw. So one of these gentlemen is going to get a ticket to the finals and be guaranteed no worse than second place. And the other gentleman is going to get a ticket to the left side final and be guaranteed no worse than third place. If I get an opportunity between this match and next, I will try to get the payouts for you so you'll know what the top prizes are. So with the exception of Thorsten's foul in rack number 1, it's gone according to the breaker winning each game. But that's all it takes at this level is 1 turnover. So Thorsten has to basically do what Shane did against Skyler, and that's hold his break every time and hope that Shane makes a mistake. And he can win a rack on Shane's break. Since Thorsten won the lag, he'd have the advantage if it went hill-hill. Look at the cue ball. How beautiful is that, huh? It does appear he can slide the 1 by the 8. The pockets have been accepting these shots at pocket speed. And it lays good to get on the 4. So this might just graze the cushion just around where the 8 ball is. Can't argue with Toasty's break there. I mean, 3 balls on the break at that speed and a shot at the lowest ball. It's going to lead to a lot of success. Just bounce out to the center here. You don't even need to go very far. Mr. Three Ball decided to get into the game there. And that's about the first time I've seen Shane lose the cue ball on the break. It's usually much more to this half of the table. The one's where it generally goes. But this is probably going to assure Thorsten at least an inning at the table. No pocket for the one. I do believe he's going to take this, though. He can't afford to let Shane back at the table here. Can he slide up behind the 5 ball, put the 1 on the cushion? Oh, it's even better. He's got the 6 and the 8 hooking him. He can kick 2 rails behind it. Or he can kick 1 rail right at it. It jumped over the 1. He hit it so hard when it hit the cushion, it actually jumped over the edge of the 1 ball. Somehow or another, though, he managed to tie up the 4-9. And I think Thorsten's going right into the 4-9 right here. No, he's not, so the 4 goes in the side. And if he gets out here, this will turn the advantage right back in his favor, because he will be breaking at 3-3. You may notice also that the majority of the time Thorsten will use an open bridge. And he is also a pure rhythm player too. When he gets going and moving around the table, it's almost like speed pool. So 3 apiece now. He's regained the advantage. And now Shane has to hope for an unforced error. Okay, well, Thorsten got out and back on top, 4-3. Now the pressure reverts back to Shane because he knows he has to match that or risk falling behind by 2 racks. All right, the 2's going to be a little bit challenging to get on. He may have to come kind of at the 5 with the cue ball or go into the 2, which I don't like because that could put it in a position where it doesn't go. He's just got to come at the 5. Yep. Back and forth we go, 4-4. You can see Thorsten's cue there on the table. That's a Lucasi hybrid cue. And if you can see right to the right of Thorsten's body there, that little cube there, that's from CuePod, one of his sponsors. He does use Kamui chalk. That's why you don't see any other chalk on the table. Thorsten well, he's left one piece over there, but normally he likes to take all the pieces of chalk off the table, except for the one that he uses. Cue ball got kicked on him, otherwise he had it squatted right in the center of the table. He does have an open look at the 1. The 3 is next. The 4 is a problem. He's also got a little bit of work to do here to even get on the 3 ball. It almost looks like the cue ball is going to go at the 3 off the short rail. He may be able to miss it altogether, but if that's so, he's going to head towards the side pocket with the cue ball. Oh, he hit that very, very nicely. He's got a little bit of an angle here. He may be able to bank the 4 cross side with a stop shot. He could get a little bit sporty if he wanted to risk a carom on the 4-7 in the side. I think that's and his third option would be safe off the 4 and put the cue ball right on the 7. Let's see what his choice is. Again, that shows the patience of a champion. to know to only take what the table's going to give you. You don't want to try to force anything, especially in a tight match against an opponent of this caliber. Make Shane make the mistake. Don't give him one. It's really important for Thorsten to hold serve here in this rack. We're just about the halfway point here. Shane's going to need some good fortune here to not sell something out, even if he hits this. Well, you know, he'll take that. He still gave him a look at it, but it's nothing routine. If he cuts it in, he's going to have to use just a touch of inside to avoid the 9 coming across. His other option, of course, is cross corner. Not surprised about his shot selection. I'm just surprised about the result. I thought he would make that ball. And this is what Shane needed, an opportunity to win on the other guy's break and take control of the match. When the best player in the country is playing at the top of his game and you give him a couple of assists along the way, it's almost impossible not to beat him. I mean it's impossible to beat him, excuse me. So now Thorsten is in the position where he needs a mistake from Shane. About the middle of the table with the cue ball here. Might bring it back a half a ball. Well, we're sure getting spoiled watching this kind of play. It's probably the highest level of bar table play we've seen in years. These matches just keep getting better and better. Now, granted, balls are going on the break every time, and they're playing 5, 6, 7 ball. But the cue ball control is exceptional by both players. Oh, nice tap on the 8 from the 2, or he was not going to have a shot. Still got a little bit of work to do because he's a little jacked up and there's not a lot of room for the cue ball to go to get out for the 3. He may have to just soft roll this in and let the cue ball drift 6, 8, 9 inches and take his cut on the 3 ball. I don't know if he can risk doing anything else because he's jacked up. He tried to hold it. He tried to put just a little bit inside on it to straighten it out. And that could be 1 foot in the grave and a shovel full of dirt coming. This will be our last winner's side match of the day. We will have 2 more for you. There'll be 1 loss side matches at 5:30 and at 7 p.m. The 5:30 match will be for a 13th through 16th place match. And then at 7, we'll have a 9th through 12th. And that'll finish out the day for us on the stream. A little bit of help here for Thorsten. Shane has no pocket for the 1 ball. He's going to have to play safe. He's mad. How dare you do that, 1 ball? Don't you know who I am? Let's see what the creative mind of the South Dakota kid's going to come up with here. Looks like he got him. If he's got any part of the 1, he's only got maybe paint. He might go rail first, or he's going to jump it. I don't know what his plan is here. Not often that I see Thorsten use a jump cue or a jump shot. But he might go rail first into the 1 and try to either make the 6, excuse me, the 7, or send the 1 at the 9 and hope to get lucky. This is going to require some creative thinking as well. Yeah, he is going to get his jump cue out. Hit that really good. Got a little bit of a good roll too, and I think he deserved that after you hit a ball that good. Shane's going to jump this, and he's probably 80–90% to make this ball. The 1 was actually headed right into the pocket, and I think he was more trying to play the combination, but this shot here, should it be made, most likely will allow him to have a look at the 2. He's not going to worry too much about just make the ball and let the cue ball settle right about there. Doesn't want it to come back though. Nothing to it. He's got to draw off the 4 and bring it back about a foot. Not even that far. And it's quickly getting away from Thorsten here. I think everything kind of swung into Shane's favor early on when Thorsten fouled on that kick safety. He tried to duplicate what Shane did, going rail first into the 3 when it was tied up with the 5 ball, and he missed the 3 altogether, and that gave Shane the opportunity to even things up on break. And he's made no mistakes since. And he reaches the hill. And he's over there in his chair joking around with Bill Silvera and a couple of guys at Shandamani. They're just having a good old time over there. Well, why wouldn't you? But there's no quitting this man. And Thorsten will, should he lose this match, he will need to beat 1 more player to get another shot at Shane. But then he'd be facing having to beat Shane twice, 2 races to 9. Shane did have a hill-hill match today. It wasn't on the TV table, but someone did get 8 games on him, and that in itself is a pretty good accomplishment. Like to be pretty straight here on the 4 ball. That's not enough. That's all right. I mean, he can just bump the 8, he'll be okay, but he didn't want to have to run into another ball. just grazed the 8 a little here. Well, it's the South Dakota kids' turn to break for the match and go to the finals in another shocking upset. I mean, just think about it, folks. This man is the favorite to win all 3 divisions here, the all-around, of course, and he's the favorite to win the U.S. Open 1 pocket. He could walk out of here with 5 titles. And I don't think anybody would be surprised. But as great a player as he is, you've got to have a little bit of good fortune along the way. And he's had that, but just enough. He's done most of it all by himself. Just trying to decide how to get from the 4 to the 5 here, and the 5 to the 6. I think you may see the 6 played up in the pocket. He just made the 1 ball in with a stop shot. And he's going to come 3 rails short underneath the 7 ball, I think. And he'll bring this back about a foot, shoot the 6 up where the 1 was, and it's going to be all over. Well, he hit that a little firm, but it's okay because he can just nudge the 9, stay right there. See you later. See you in the finals. All right, Thorsten Hohmann proceeds to the left side final. He'll be awaiting an opponent tomorrow. That might even be played tonight, folks. I honestly don't know what the schedule is, if they're going to get down to where we just have 3 players left or just 2. But I can tell you that the 9-ball finals will not be today.